have really offensive, voices. Not so much Transformer voices, just offensive voices.
You're very offensive. I'm actually surprised at times that we don't get accused of being slightly racist on this show at times. Yeah.
That's all I gotta say.
That's all I gotta say. I mean, if you can't go off and laugh at yourselves.
Oh, I laugh at myself every single day. But there was so much other stuff that actually happened during this weekend that was absolutely wonderful. The vendors were phenomenal.
They were absolutely phenomenal. We went off and did interviews, or at least brief interviews with several of them. And I don't know about you, but I walked away with a lot of stuff.
I didn't, but I walked away with the intention to get a lot of stuff. The big thing is, I guess, we might as well kind of talk about some of the ones who are around us and go from there. I actually have cards for ones I actually wanted to talk about. Some of them I really don't have to have cards because we've had run-ins with them since FanQuest. Our neighbor from FanQuest was actually almost our neighbor again. He was like right behind us, which was awesome. So Don Newman from Don's Prop Shop makes these absolutely wonderful statues, 3D printing. He actually did the Groot one that you have, which you definitely have to take a picture of it and post it because it's beautiful.
It's currently sitting on my son's dresser alongside a bunch of those Funko Pops that my wife and I have been collecting over the last year or so. And we are actually talking to... We're I don't want to give away too much at this point, but we are in discussion with him to go off and get him to possibly design something for us.
Yes, we are working on a commission there, and we can't wait to reveal what that is when the time comes. But there are big announcements coming. I'd say in the near future, probably not too far away, because definitely something we want to jump on sooner than later.
Let's just say that we are looking to go off and to make some changes to the show, and there's definitely some stuff that we witnessed this on Ener-Con weekend that's kind of given us pause to give a couple things for consideration. It's opened doors to us as to giving us suggestions as to how to go off and to pursue some of the things that we were thinking of going off and doing. And I know I'm going off and teasing a little bit for those who are listening in, but again, until we really start getting this together, I don't want to give away too much of what we're actually planning here.
I'm going to tease a little bit without revealing again, so I'm really going to mess with you guys. Some people out there already know what our intentions are going forward, but we are 2 years in. This is our second convention. We have a lot of people who were very impressed with what we've been able to accomplish. Now, we've impressed ourselves, I think, more than anything of what we've been able to do.
I mean, let's face it, we kind of jumped in this thing, both feet, and not really having a clue as to what we were doing. And we're starting now to get to the point where it's just, okay, where are we going to go next? How are we going to get to the next level? And so, what's the next step here? And so, I mean, there was definitely, stuff that we went off and we saw and we discussed. And, I mean, a big part of that was the 2-day event that we went off and we participated in.
I know where you're going on this, and I definitely agree. That would be the gaming tournament hosted by Geeks Pro.
Yeah, Geeks Pro. And they go off and they do a lot of stuff. They go off and they do a lot of stream gaming.
Yes, which I actually recommend if you are into gaming and you really want to watch, a lot of people play games, especially Destiny right now. Go download Twitch and look up Geeks Pro, GeekSpro. Definitely worth it.
And again, we will go off and we're going to link that. We're going to probably go off and link stuff on both Facebook and on Twitter as well about Geeksbro. Because Geeksbro, they went off. It was a phenomenal event. The first day that there was Super Smash Brothers.
Yes, which is my nightmare. I used to play that as a kid all the time on the N64. But playing it on the Nintendo Switch was, to me, like trying to learn Japanese.
See, and my wife and I, we have the Wii U, and so we have a version of it on there. And I played it. I think I played it for one day, and I did pretty well with Link. I actually beat the game, so to speak, with Link. And then I didn't play it. We literally, our Wii U has been collecting dust downstairs, which kind of drives me crazy.
You and I actually both followed a very familiar path. We both chose Pokemon.
We did, and I was really stupid. I chose Pikachu, and in hindsight, I probably should have picked a character like Zelda or
Samus or
Fox or Cloud. Or someone who was a little bit more badass, and
Pikachu's badass, just not in Super Smash Bros.
Well, and part of the problem is instead of being smart about it and taking a couple minutes to learn how to actually play the game, I went in with no idea what I was doing and was.
But that's usually how the best stories start.
So I got beat pretty easily in the first round.
See, at least when you got beat up in the first round, it wasn't against one of your own teammates. There was 4 of us from the Captain Fizz and Mask Guy show who entered this competition. Myself, that Mask Guy, Eagles, as well as in Chaos. Now, I unfortunately picked the unlucky straw of having to face Eagles in the very first round, and I got my butt whooped. I'm not ashamed to admit that. I did call from the beginning that I knew for a fact that when the time came that my number was drawn, it was going to be either against, in Chaos or Eagles. And I unfortunately picked the really unlucky, part of that because, either way, I was playing, a diehard gamer who, really don't know how to quit. So I was kind of screwed, but it was a really, really fun experience. I believe Eagles actually went on to the third round and lost. And then In Chaos actually won the Super Smash Brothers tournament on Saturday. So we still represented.
We definitely represented on night 2 or day 2 of there. It was everyone pretty much got to bring in their ambios.
Yes, and once again, I fizzled out in the first round.
So did I, and they actually went off. And I had an ambio that I got when I bought my Wii U, and I'd never even taken it out of the package. And someone said, "Hey, bring it, and we'll go off and we'll train it for you." And so they
sounds like a really bad Pokemon story.
It sort of is a bad Pokemon story. But what happened was, so they got my Super Mario up to level 50. If you actually go back and you watch it, yes, I named it. It is TMG Mario because the dude has to represent. I need to get a better ambio because I lost in the first round, but it was a pretty badass fight. It was between me and Eagle actually. So we have something in common.
We do. And Eagle actually went on to get second place in the Ambio tournament. So we definitely represented 2 days in a row. And what's really, really awesome to say about that is Adam Kirk, who does these caricatures, we post pictures on our Facebook page of us done as characters. He actually placed second in the Super Smash Bros. Tournament against In Chaos and finished first in the Ambios against Eagle. So definitely a fierce competitor, that one is.
Absolutely. The funny thing is that he was also the winner of the same tournament the year before, and the bonus prize was, to take on his Ambio that he won for the previous year. So he literally, not only did he win the first prize, he won the bonus prize as well. So
absolutely. So, it definitely a very fierce competitor. It was awesome to sit down. We had a conversation with him, watching him draw, in chaos, actually. And then he drew me. And I looked like a really, really old version of myself. So I don't know if I'm looking into...
You look very sophisticated. You kind of remind me of... I can't remember what his name is, but I can't even remember. There was a show from forget it.
Yeah, I don't think there's any point remembering this.
But I mean, you look like the sophisticated guy that I've saw on some TV show where he would go off and interview from the Actors Studio. That's the name of the show, and he would go off and he'd literally in front of a bunch of acting students. Would go off and interview like famous actors like Eddie Murphy. At one point, he went off and interviewed the entire cast of The Simpsons, and that's who you kind of remind me of. And my wife and my son actually posed for a picture as well. I didn't get a chance to go off and to do it, so I would really like to go off and to get together with him and do that. And we actually have kind of some thoughts of doing another little project with.
We have a lot of projects, in the works, and some great ones. It might get our artistic side going.
It could, absolutely.
So I do also want to do a shout out to a couple other local vendors and whatnot. The one being who actually was our neighbor this time around was Dee's Collectibles here in Winnipeg. It's a collector store. She's been doing this for 17 years. So, and the stuff she was selling and the conversation we actually had with her was absolutely wonderful. She specializes in Barbie, Lego, Batman, not Lego Batman, just Lego and Batman, Disney, sports, I think that actually is Disney sports, Star Wars, and vintage toys.
Very nice.
On top of that, of course, Wasteland Emporium, who makes these absolutely beautiful glassware that, honestly, I would feel extremely sophisticated holding. So, all in all, Ener-Con was an absolutely phenomenal weekend.
It was. I look forward to, attending the next one. They haven't even figured out when they're going to go off and to do it. From what I understand, they don't necessarily do these every year. So, but I mean, if they do one next year, we're definitely going to jump on this. And pretty much any opportunity that we could have to go off and to interact with a lot of people that we got to meet that weekend. I would jump at that. I'm very grateful for that my new employer allowed me to take that weekend off so I could go off and attend both days. And I don't know what else. I mean, it was good. And again, guys, go check out our Facebook page because there's just so much content on that page that show you. It's not even funny.
No, it was definitely a jam-packed weekend. We were exhausted on so many levels, and I don't think I've actually properly slept since, so that says a lot.
You've also been pretty busy, but that's a story for another show.
Absolutely.
So, you know what? I think, I'm going to step in here, and I'm not the one who normally does this, but I think we need to take a break just so you and I can have a chance to breathe.
We only have 16 minutes left of the show. There's no time for a break.
Take a break, damn it!
We shall take a break. Please enjoy this music, and we will be right back after this break. Guys, welcome back to the Captain Fizz and Mask Guy Show.
The Captain Fizz and Mask Guy Show.
So I think we'll go on to our final topic of the night before we do our shameless plugs, because that is the best part of our show. The
Yes.
shameless plugs.
The shameless plugs.
So, of course, if anyone is following our Twitter, which if you aren't, we'll be telling you what our Twitter is.